Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, That Model Railway Guy, to a very special video. As you may know, over the past few years I've been working on a largest double-O gauge layout which is intended to represent a fictional heritage railway. Now, the construction has been a bit slow to say the least, but I'm finally at a stage where I can start working on the scenery for some of the more prominent parts for the layout. Except I've hit a bit of a block. I know I want to model a heritage railway, but what exactly does that mean? Well, that's where today's video comes in, as earlier this summer I decided to go and visit a load of heritage railways around the country that I'd never been to before, and that was for research. Yeah, research, that's what we're calling this. Research. In all seriousness though, this was to give me some ideas for things to include on the layout and just get a general idea of how different heritage railways operate and their own unique selling points. So, I've got 5 days, 5 different heritage railways I've never visited before, and you're going to come along for the ride. Let's go. Welcome to Kingsley and Froggle station on the Churnet Valley Railway, and as you can see, the train today was being pulled by a Class 33 diesel. That was a little bit of a disappointment, as I won't lie, I'm more of a steam fan personally, especially as it was the American S160 that was originally rostered. Unfortunately, we were told it had been failed right before this first train, which is why the Class 33 was drafted in at short notice. That said, I was still very much looking forward to travelling along the line, especially as, like I said in the intro, I've never visited this railway before. Inside the booking office, there was actually a very small museum, so let's go and take a quick look before the train departs. Back outside, the Class 33, named Sophie, does a quick run round to the other end of the train, getting ready to pull the first service of the day. And shortly afterwards, it was time to depart Kingsley and Froggle and begin the journey. The first station along the line is Consul, although trains weren't stopping here today, as at the time they were doing some renovation work to the platform. Instead, we passed through at a slow pace, but this gave me a great opportunity to have a look at the wide mix of stock they had stored in the station loop. One thing in particular that caught my eye was a full lever frame from a signal box sitting on top of a wagon. There really is a prototype for everything. Later on, we arrived at the outskirts of Cheddleton, which to me looks like the central hub for the railway. Again, there's a large mixture of stock being stored in the sidings on the approach to the station in a real mix of different conditions. And it's at this point we get a passing view of the S160 too, which was meant to be pulling the train today. Now, I was told the issue was only a minor one, but sadly it didn't look like anyone was working on the loco, so it did seem like it would be diesel power all day. That said, it was nice to briefly see it in steam, albeit stationary. Pulling into Cheddleton itself, we can see another Class 33 stabled in the bay platform with a spare coach behind it.
Although the actual station feels quite small in comparison to the yard, it has lots of character and again has been maintained to a really high standard. Normally, trains terminate at Leek Brook, a small station just beyond Cheddleton. However, today trains were actually running all the way along the Coulden Vale line up to Ipstones. This adds an extra 4.5 miles to the journey, although as we arrive at Ipstones, you can see there isn't a platform, just a loop to allow the loco to move back to the other end of the train. With the Class 33 coupled up to the other end of the train, it was time to begin the return journey, much to the relief, I imagine, of these English Longhorns. Back at Cheddleton, there was a bit of a surprise waiting. The S160 seemed to be up and running. Although it seemed to be making a lot of noise and smoke, as it disappeared behind the coaches, I couldn't really tell what was going on.
Ready to rock and roll? Okie dokie then.
And now for the moment of truth. I may not be an expert on diesels, but that doesn't sound like a Class 33 to me.
See you later. You have indeed, yes? Let's start on.
And there we go, that is pretty much confirmation. So, having come all this way to see the S160, it was fantastic to finally be able to have a ride behind it. And don't worry, you're going to get a good look at it later on. As we pass by the yard again, there's a quick chance to see some of the bits and pieces lying around and also get one last look at the Class 33 too. Like I said, one of the reasons I'm visiting all these different railways is to get some ideas for my model railway, especially the random things that preservation societies tend to have hanging around. Even along the line side, you can see bits of old rail, which I think is something I'll definitely have to include on my own layout. Back at Kingsley and Froggle, there was a great opportunity to watch the S160 as it ran round the train. It's honestly hard to convey just how enormous this engine is. It strangely doesn't seem all that big on camera, but trust me, when you're next to it, it really is huge. As the S160 backs into the platform, it stops short of the train and one of the loco crew jumps out to call it onto the carriages.
Now before we continue on with the rest of the video, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you who regularly tune in to watch my videos and enjoy the stuff that I do on this channel. If you'd like to have a hand in helping decide what videos I make or just get early access to them, well, I do have channel memberships available so that you guys can suggest topics for videos and also get a behind the scenes look at what it is that I'm working on. There's a few different tiers, each with their own benefits, starting from just £1.99. And like I said, if you like the videos I make, well, you'll definitely like what's inside the members area too. Plus, you'll be supporting the channel so I can make more of the videos that you love. Now, you can become a member today by clicking the link in the description, or if you're on desktop, there should be a little join button underneath this video too. So go check that out, and hopefully I'll see you in the members area really soon. And now, back to the trains.
So, after that extended close-up look at the S160, it was time for another journey, and I have to admit, I was very much looking forward to hearing this loco pull the train up all the inclines. whistle is just phenomenal. They were using it quite a lot, but with a whistle like that, can you blame them? Another brief stop at Cheddleton, and then it was time to begin the sharp climb up to Ipstones. And this is Leekbrook Junction, where trains normally terminate. A little bit further on is a signal box which controls the four-way junction, and on the left is the line that comes from Stoke. Now, I believe there are potential plans to start using this line again, which the Churnet Valley Railway may be allowed to run on. In the more immediate future, though, is this junction, which leads into Leek, with the railway specifically working on extending the line in this direction. That sounds like a really exciting project, and I wish the Churnet Valley Railway the best of luck with that. Anyway, for now, I'm just going to shut up and let you enjoy the sounds of the S160 working hard up the incline. One thing I didn't mention before is this brief stop on the way up just before a crossing. The crossing itself is hidden on the other side of the bridge, so the train stops and one of the crew gets out to make sure all is clear. Soon enough we can continue on our way, with the loco pausing briefly to allow the crew member back onto the loco. Shortly afterwards, we arrive back at Ipstones Loop, with the S160 being uncoupled to allow it to run round the train. And then, once again, it was time to begin the return journey. In a strange way, I quite like these run-round loops in the middle of nowhere. They're very typical of heritage railways, which don't always have the space or budget to build a full station, so maybe I should try to incorporate one on my 00 gauge layout at some point. So, as we passed various signals on the way back into Kingsley and Froggle, it was time for the day to come to an end. I'm certainly glad I finally had a chance to visit the Churnet Valley Railway after wanting to have a ride here for a while now. A big well done has to go to all the volunteers for keeping the trains running when the S160 was out of action, and of course to those who got it working again as well. I certainly very much appreciated getting to see it in action, and I very much hope one of the model railway manufacturers announces one in 00 gauge in the future. With everyone off the train though, it was time for one last departure so that the S160 could return to Cheddleton with the empty coaches. So that's it for this video. I know it's been a little bit different, but I do hope you've enjoyed this. Like I said, I visited several heritage railways on this little research trip, so there's more of these videos on the way, and those will be interspersed with more model railway videos too, so there's loads to look forward to in the coming weeks. For now though, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!